Saahirahs, this is Joana Saahirah with another video inspired by dancers from all over the world. One of the most important videos I've ever shot. This is about discrimination in the field of Oriental dance or Egyptian dance or belly dance, as people erroneously like to call it, and how to fight it. How can we, that includes me and you, fight discrimination, different kinds of discrimination in the field of Oriental dance, a byproduct of the infamous blacklist defaming and targeting dancers, myself included, from all over the world. Now, before we dive into this video, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, and click on the notifications bell button so that you know every time I have new goodies coming into the channel. And baby, there's a lot of good stuff arriving, okay? Also, feel welcome to join Joana Saahirah's World newsletter and be the first to receive our news, inspirations, gifts, and exclusive content I only share with my beautiful people. You will find a link to subscribe in the description box below this video. Go there. I'll wait for you. Go there and click on subscribe, and I will see you inside our platform. For the ones who don't know me yet, I'm a world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, choreographer, author, and I'm also the creator of the pioneering online platforms Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, delivering authentic Egyptian dance, personal discovery, and empowerment. And now we dive into discrimination in the field of Oriental dance and how we can fight it, how we can take responsibility and fight it. Now let's start by clarifying something. There is no collective without the individual. What do I mean by this? We don't change the collective, we don't change the rules, we don't change the group if we don't change ourselves. The collective is nothing but the sum of many individuals. So if I make a change, if I act differently in a specific area, if you act differently, if you do better, if your neighbor does better, if the neighbor of the neighbor does better, at the end we will have a collective transformation. But collective, I repeat, is not a concept in the air. It is the combination of many different individuals making a change by themselves with their own hands. So there is responsibility, accountability to be made here. Now, in the field of Oriental dance, there are many kinds of discrimination. Dancers can be discriminated due to their race. They can be discriminated due to their ethnic background, their religious background, the color of their skin. They can be discriminated due to their age, to their body size or body type. They can be discriminated because of their sexual preferences. There are so many ways of discriminating and harming and being unfair to dancers, and very often we know, me and you, we know that dancers are not evaluated by their talent and skills and professionalism. They're very often evaluated by standards that honestly have very little to do with dance quality. So let's change that, and it starts right here. The first step to help fighting discrimination is to know what discrimination means. Okay, I know this sounds obvious, but it's not. So many dancers speak about discrimination without really knowing, in fact, in concrete, what discrimination looks like. So it's very important to be clear about discrimination. What is it? Where does it happen? How does it happen? To whom? Who is the perpetrator and who are the victims, right? So in the field of Oriental dance, discrimination happens in different shapes and forms, as I have already mentioned, and it can be observed in schools, in competitions, in professional venues where dancers are auditioning and are chosen or not chosen according to the color of their skin, for instance, or their age, or even their ethical background. I have personally lost a lot of work because I wouldn't sleep with the manager. That's discrimination, okay? And there are many examples of other discrimination types at different venues. Now, knowing about discrimination is important. Why? Because when you see it happening to you or to your peers, to other dancers, you will know how to identify it and you will know exactly what to do about it, okay? So clarifying your concept of discrimination, looking around in your community and seeing where and how and to whom it is happening is the first step to fight it. Second step to fight discrimination in the field of Oriental dance is acknowledge that it exists. Okay, so again, it sounds so obvious, right? Not so obvious. I have heard dancers telling me, but Joana, that's nonsense. There is no discrimination in the field of Oriental dance. We're all treated equally and people get the fair chances equally, and not true. Not true. So even if you have not been a target of discrimination, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? I have been a target of different kinds of discrimination. I mentioned one of them. I have not been a target of discrimination due to my race, for instance, but I have been a target of discrimination because I don't look Egyptian as well. That's a discrimination. I will make you work harder, or I will not give you the opportunity to apply for that job because you don't look Egyptian. It happened to me. Now, even if you were not a target of discrimination, in order to help fighting it, you have to acknowledge that it is real. It may not be real in your case. You may have not been a target of it, but if you ask around, if you start to observe and take responsibility not only for yourself but for your peers, you will see it happening in front of your eyes. And sometimes we don't even acknowledge it because we're so immersed in our own world, in our own belly. If it doesn't affect me, it doesn't exist. No. Even if it doesn't affect you now, it doesn't mean it will never affect you. And even if it doesn't affect you at all, it's still there. And if you want to be a part of the solution, you have to acknowledge it and do your part from your heart, from a human being with a beautiful open mind and with a beautiful open heart. The third step to fight discrimination is to have the guts to fight for yourself and for your peers. Now, when you're a target of discrimination, I think it is relatively easy to stand against it, right? I mean, not necessarily for most dancers, because so many of us will feel afraid to speak up. So many of us will know we've been a target of discrimination and stay silent because we don't want to be seen like a troublemaker or a complainer. We don't want to whine. We don't want to get into more trouble. So we stay silent. And this is also true when we witness discrimination in relation to our peers, in relation to your colleagues, in relation to your students, or in relation to other dancers in any circumstance that are surrounding you. Now, if we don't have the guts to stand up and fight for ourselves and for our peers, nothing good, nothing great can happen in our field. No change will ever take place in the field of Oriental dance. Very often, whenever I mentioned what I was going through in Cairo, where I started my career, I was shut down. I was told by dancers, Egyptian dancers, foreign dancers, why don't you shut up? Why are you saying those things, even if they're true? So I spoke about prostitution in the field of Egyptian dance in Cairo. I spoke about corruption. I spoke about managers hurting dancers, myself included, in order to get jobs for the dancers they were managing. I spoke about everything that I was living. Nobody told me, I was living it. And I was told to shut the F up. Of course I didn't. But because I didn't, I was labeled a difficult person or a troublemaker, the dangerous Joana. Why? Because I'm not a coward. Because I am not a coward. And there is a price to be paid for not being a coward. Now, if you ask me, I think I would rather pay the price for speaking up and saying the truth and standing up for myself and for my peers, or pay the price for remaining in silence, for being an accomplice to the discrimination, to the injustice, to the corruption that actually exists in our field. So my step here, my proposed step would be to ask yourself, what kind of price do you want to pay? Do you want to be seen like someone who steps forward and says, no, 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 not on my watch? If you see someone discriminating you, or a peer, or a colleague, or a student, you stand up for yourself and you stand up for them and you say, not on my watch. Do you want to be known for your character, even if that annoys a lot of people, or do you want to be known for being a coward, for being silent in relation to the discrimination that is actually going around in our field? And then again, if we don't acknowledge it, it will be perpetuated. If we don't face the elephant in the room, the elephant will keep growing and growing and growing, okay? And then we will have no safe space to dance, no safe venues to thrive. We will have generations of dancers who don't want to get into the field of Egyptian dance because it's dangerous. It's a minefield. Do you want that? I know I don't. I want to leave the field of Egyptian dance in better state than when I found it. I know I'm not the last Oriental dancer. After me, many others, inshallah, God willing, many others will come. But it is my responsibility to leave the field in a better shape than what I found it. Okay? So taking action and standing up for yourself and for your colleagues when you witness discrimination of any sort, it's the most essential, beautiful step you can take to be a part of the solution. Step 4, and the last one for this video, to help you fight discrimination in the field of Oriental dance, is to organize, to create environments where everyone feels welcomed and respected, okay? Gather in dance groups, organize dance venues. If you're a teacher, make sure that in your school, at your events, everyone is welcomed, everyone is treated equally, that no one is discriminated due to their color or race or age or ethnicity. Be, in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, the change you wish to see in the world. Instead of just stepping back and seeing what happens, go ahead and make something good happen. Create events, physical events, online events, where you invite all sorts of dancers from all ethnicities, all walks of life, all ages, all religions to join, and give them a voice, give them a space. Be genuinely interested. Allow them to feel seen. Not because they're more or less than you, because they're people like you. And I am sure that if you love Oriental dance, you want to honor it. And there is no better way to do it than honoring yourself and your sisters in dance. I hope this video was inspiring to you. We had an open discussion on the blacklist and racism in the field of Oriental dance. I'm going to leave the link to a few of the snippets of this open discussion in the description box below this video. It is related with the theme of discrimination in Oriental dance. Watch it. Feel welcome then again to join Joana Saahirah's World community. You know where to find the link to join us, and I will see you very, very soon. Until then, you're going to receive my warmest kiss and all my love. Mwah!